This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, Season 2 of Broom Closet Recordings, healing the patriarchy within, and the here and the there, offering rememberings in times of chaos, confusion, love, and belonging. I am Diedra, your sometimes reluctant but always growing guide. In this season, I'll be sharing channeled and conjured episodes related to healing the patriarchy within. There's a link in the description to the digital book titled the same. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like. This will help me grow the channel and therefore grow my ability to continue these offerings with dedicated focus. I deeply appreciate you being here.
At the time I'm recording this Broom Closet, the most recent collective insight session I did was around whispering wind. And this share today, it definitely grows out of that. There's so much information coming in for me right now. This moment as I record, but in general. And so I'm going to really try to hone into the bigger plot sort of messages that are coming in. I am speaking to rooted cosmic souls. I'm speaking to folks who are healing, actively working on healing the patriarchy within, the things that we have learned on how to oppress, suppress, and control ourselves and others. These messages are going to make most sense to folks who are intentionally, actively healing themselves, who understand none of us are immune, and that is the work. We came here to bring an energy back of a balanced human, which means bringing in a balanced state between our full energy spectrum. Within this construct right now, the easiest way to talk about that is the divine masculine, divine feminine. I like to call it sacred feminine, sacred masculine. It's, tomato, tomato. And also those who are other word witches, that words do matter. But intention matters more. So choose the words you want to. Let's see. Most important thing to begin with is that I'm recording this in July 2025. There was a new moon in Cancer in June. It does not matter when you come to this message. Whenever you come to this message is when you come to this message, because time is a spiral and our experiences of reality, of ourselves, of the world are so varied at the moment that really, when your higher self brings you to this message, that is the right moment. And I mentioned June because for me, that new moon in Cancer definitely opened something. Like currently in the spiritual world, there's a lot of talk about timeline shifts, about in the 3D world, about global collapse and paradigm shifts, political shifts. All of this stuff, this change is happening in my experience of time right now. And that new moon in Cancer, I definitely know something shifted. I can't necessarily name it. I think it's whispering in the wind. It's starting to come in, which is what I'm going to share today. But I offer that as for other folks to sort of go back and see or pay attention, reflect on what is happening for you, particularly since that new moon. The messages that I've been getting are coming in from multiple pathways, which tells me, again, we're all moving in really varied yet connected ways. In that collective session a couple days ago, we got this message around leaning into Rhiannon and this idea of inner strength and whispering wind, this patience, gentle guidance, that's something that things were happening in the background. And indeed, as things are happening in the background, the clarity that many of us are seeking of wanting to know what is that and what does that have to do with us, our purpose, our path as individuals and as collective, I got multiple messages around connecting the whispering wind and this call to step into your inner strength, to develop it, meaning to continue the healing work of understanding the daily practice of being self aware, introspective, transparent, vulnerable, curious, and connected. That focus, that intention will hone your frequency or your focus, your energy, the space that you are creating for yourself in this time and space. It's going to help you center integrity so that you can create growth, balance, gratitude, commitment, and communication with what is to come. And to further do that, has a lot to do with the full moon in Capricorn that we are under now. And that for rooted cosmic souls, a way to work with the energy of the full moon in Capricorn that has arrived in July is to think about it from the below to the above. Meaning, it is a really beautiful time to do work with your root chakra, to be really clear on what you desire, and to know that as you do that work with your root chakra and clarity of desire, you can step into this unknown, right? These uncertain times with courage through that inner strength. Because that whispering wind is a request to surrender to the mystery that is Earth, that is this moment in time, that is our connection to this moment in time, which leads me to the other avenue to get clarity is through your soul star chakra. And to consider, instead of trying to force whatever your next move might be or next steps, to really slow down and allow divine timing, divine magic to flow through you, through that whispering wind. That wind is going to come in. If you're focusing on your North Star, you're using the energy of your mind, your sacred masculine, to focus on that North Star. The energy of your sacred feminine is leaning into your inner strength and the great mother, and you're surrendering to that and really doing that from the below to the above, because the time is going to come where that all that energy we're putting into deepening our roots into who we are, into our worthiness, our value, our connection to earth and to each other, the time is coming to look up, to see the stars, to see all that is connected, that we are of the universe is of us, and that's going to be through your soul star chakra. Remember, in that last reading, the support cards we got were unity, protect, intimacy. In that reading, I really externalized that message, meaning our unity with others, a moment to protect ourselves or others, to create intimacy, to create real trusting relationships with others. And I 100% think that is part of it. An additional message that I got was around the spiritual energy of the hare and the powers of hare, Hare, rabbit, in terms of rebirth and intuition, right? And the hare is frequently connected to the moon, to mystery, to mayhem. The hare could also be considered a shapeshifter, right? A trickster. It is a witch familiar for sure. And so in that energy, to really continue to hold our inner strength in these uncertain times, that unity, protect, and intimacy with this full moon in Capricorn is also offering us the energy to have that relationship with ourselves, to be in unity with the whole of oneself, with all parts of you, right? So, like I said, in this realm, we're talking about the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, to come into the sacred you, the balanced, whole human that you came here to be, and to protect that, right? Leaning into, surrendering to the mystery of the Great Mother, expanding your relationship with your root chakra. That is a way to protect the healing that you're doing of bringing your whole self into balance and the intimacy with the self that that requires. Part of patriarchy and systems of oppression, suppression, and control has been about disconnecting us from ourselves, creating a lens that we are not trustworthy, not even to ourselves, that we give that power up to an external force, to an expert outside of ourselves to help us understand ourselves. And I think that when it's a support, awesome, because we are here to support each other. But a lot of us have moved into that victim state of mind, which is why Rhiannon showed up, right? To move us out of that victim state of mind, that everything has to be given up to others for you to come to your balanced state. No, you have all that you need to be whole and balanced. We've just forgotten. And it requires a very intimate relationship with ourselves because it requires looking below and to the above, right? What is in our roots and what is in our lineage. And that sometimes there's trickster energy in there. But to be clear, manifest with intention, right? To be clear about what you desire and step into the unknown with courage, right? This is going to be especially true if and when we're surrounded by people who are exhibiting a lack of courage. It requires a really clear, intimate relationship with self to not fall to the codependency that we've been trained into, so that we can step into that power within, forgiving ourselves for forgetting, and come back that when we look up, when we look to the above, we can see a shifted view. Part of me was wondering if that's the shifted timeline that folks are talking about, the paradigm shift. Like, I think a lot of people are so wanting it to be like this, almost like this made for TV movie or big screen movie about a timeline shift, that everything just changes. I don't think that that's what we're talking about. I think it's simply about a further awakening to your power within, to be able to examine our choices that we are making daily differently, a way to see fear differently. Fear will still be here in a timeline shift. It's not the fear that goes away. What shifts is our response to it. All the healing that we've been doing as rooted cosmic souls, it is meant to help us respond as opposed to react, to remember as opposed to disregard who we are, our power within, our ability to step into free will, choice, to activate our connection to ourselves, to earth, to each other, to protect it fiercely because we have strong bonds and connections. So, like I said, this is a sort of continuation from that collective whispering wind. The new pathways that I got was around your soul star chakra, your root chakra. And also, don't forget to surrender to the mystery of what's happening at the moment with an understanding of what your North Star is. This full moon in Capricorn, it's an earth sign. I imagine that's the from the below energy that we're in right now. The energy is going to shift. Again, timeline is a spiral. Perhaps by the time you hear this, it has shifted already to the above. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know the specifics, but there's a lot of energy in Gemini, which is when communication is external. There's just going to be a lot of stuff coming in. So it's going to be really important, that unity, that protection, that intimacy from within, from the below within you to the above. Then you can offer it to the paradigm. Sending so much love to all beings, all places, all spaces, and in all times. Unfettered and infinite love and gratitude.
This is Rooted Cosmic Soul, Season 2, Healing the Patriarchy Within, a Broom Closet recording, offered with infinite love and gratitude. Thank you for watching, listening, co-creating the energy necessary for this time and space to exist. My energy stays here, your energy stays there. Return when your spirit moves you to do so. Same Bruja time, same Bruja channel. Hey there. If you liked this content, please check out my new book called Healing the Patriarchy Within. It's a detailed process guide designed to help folks find, explore, understand the definitions, beliefs, and behaviors that are inside of us as individuals, because some of them are the same between us and some of them are different. But those definitions, beliefs, and behaviors that are complicit with, that uphold the patriarchy. And it's a process guide to help see, sense, and shift those with a lot of compassion, grace, and love. Having patriarchy within doesn't matter about your gender, your class, your race. It's in all of us because of the wide existence of the patriarchy globally and for multiple millennia. And this process guide offers 22 very specific interweaving intersectional journeys to explore that from your eye, sprinkled with 24 different sacred feminine goddesses, energies, guides to support you as you're healing the patriarchy within. And then more than 44 different individual prompts, portals, activations, activities to further deepen your understanding of where the eye is and how to engage in a healing process. So please check that out if you are so inclined. There's a link in the description, always in all my videos. And also you can go directly to my website, diedrabarber.com. Thanks again. Also consider subscribing, liking, sharing whenever you find content on my channel that you've enjoyed. It's a beautiful way to support creators of free content and to help build my channel and get me out of the hidden realms of YouTube, because my content is that which is not meant to be brought to light, but you can help be one of those who help shine light on it. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Unfettered and infinite love and gratitude.